Hello, my fishing friends. Your favorite angling expert is here to talk all things fish for a very special day. We are casting our lines into the future, looking at Tuesday, the 7th of October, 2025 year, for a detailed forecast across Ireland. Get ready, because this day promises a mix of challenges and incredible rewards. I'm going to share some insider tips based on the latest data to help you make the most of your time on the water. We will uncover why this particular day will be special for fishing, from weather quirks to lunar magic, and how it all affects our finned friends. The full moon, combined with cooling waters, sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable day, friends. First up, let us dive into some tactics for the most active species we expect to see. October 7th looks promising for some key players. For our toothy friends, the pike. Autumn is prime time for them to be on the hunt, aggressively feeding, to bulk up for the colder months ahead. You will want to target deeper sections of larger lakes like Lough Derg or Lough Mask, and even the slower, more sheltered stretches of rivers. Why here? The cooling water temperatures are pushing baitfish into these areas, and the pike will follow their prey. For tackle, go aggressive. Large lures are your best bet. Think big, soft plastics, deep-diving crankbaits, or even a classic dead bait presentation on a float rig. Remember, pike are actively feeding to pack on weight, so a bold offering can be irresistible. Next, let us talk about bass, our saltwater superstars. Early October can still offer fantastic bass fishing, especially along the more rugged coastlines such as the famous Copper Coast, or around areas in Cork, Waterford, Wexford, and Kerry. The cooling sea temperatures, hovering around 13 to 14 degrees Celsius, will keep them active and on the hunt. Focus your efforts on deeper channels during low tide where the fish might be concentrated, or around rocky shorelines, estuaries, and sandy beaches with good tidal flow. For shore anglers, fresh peeler crab or lugworm on a pulley rig is incredibly effective. If you are a lure angler, shallow diving crankbaits or surface poppers can still work in calmer periods, but soft plastic shads or needlefish imitations retrieved slowly along the bottom will likely produce more consistent results. And let us not forget our beautiful brown trout. These beauties remain active in early October and can be targeted successfully, especially in our rivers, which offer more natural shelter from the breezy conditions compared to wide open loughs. Look for them in runs, riffles, and around any structure that breaks the current and offers cover, such as submerged logs or undercut banks. For tackle, light spinning gear with small spinners or spoons, or fly fishing with nymphs and streamers can be deadly. If using bait, a small worm or maggot on a light float rig can often entice a strike. Now for the theoretical base, the analysis of conditions. Weather. On the 7th of October, 2025 year, Ireland can expect daytime temperatures to reach around 14 degrees Celsius, dropping to 6 degrees Celsius overnight. Crucially, there is zero precipitation expected, meaning a dry day on the water. Wind conditions are expected to be breezy to windy, with average speeds around 26 kilometers per hour, which will require careful spot selection, especially on larger exposed waters. Atmospheric pressure, while not specifically detailed for this exact day, typically undergoes some fluctuations in autumn, which can sometimes make fish capricious, but the overall conditions point towards activity. Water temperature. The sea temperature around Ireland in early October averages around 13 to 14 degrees Celsius. In freshwater systems, it will be slightly cooler, but still within a range that keeps most species active. This cooling trend from summer to autumn is what often triggers predatory feeding behavior, as fish sense the approaching colder months and start to feed aggressively to build reserves. It is a natural shift in their metabolism. Moon phase. On the 7th of October, 2025 year, we will be under the magnificent full moon, also known as the hunter's moon. The moon will be 100% illuminated, reaching its peak at 03:47 UTC. Many anglers, myself included, believe a full moon can stimulate fish activity. It is often associated with increased tidal movement in saltwater and a general boost in feeding behavior for many species due to increased ambient light at night. Fish could be in a pre-feeding frenzy mode due to the approaching full illumination. Overall, fish activity. In early October, Ireland sees a general shift towards aggressive autumn feeding patterns. Predatory fish like pike and bass are often in a feeding frenzy mode, trying to build up reserves for winter. Brown trout also remain active and can be targeted successfully. The salmon and sea trout seasons are winding down on many rivers by the end of September, but some specific rivers still permit sea trout fishing until October 12th, so always check your local regulations. For coarse anglers, species like perch and roach will be grouping up in deeper sections of lakes and slower rivers. Considering all these factors, the mild, dry weather, the cooling water temperatures, and the highly favorable full moon phase, I am giving the overall fishing assessment for the 7th of October 2025 year a good to excellent rating with excellent potential for predator fishing. The breezy conditions might make it a bit challenging for some, but for those targeting pike, bass, brown trout and coarse fish, the activity should be high. Do not let a bit of wind deter you. The fish are out there and they are hungry. All right, my fellow anglers, I wish you all tight lines and screaming reels. May you have a fantastic day out on the water. No tail, no scales. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more expert tips, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss any of my upcoming fishing adventures. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to lures for pike and bass in autumn in Ireland? What is your favorite fishing spot this time of year? Share your tips and let us keep this awesome community growing. Tight lines, everyone!